and today I've got the queens, ladies, princesses. Hello, darlings. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it.
Your flesh. And when we look at the spirit is what connects the two and centers it to find what is beyond the physical, to connect the spiritual to the physical.
From the day you are born, you are a sexual being until the day you die. So it means you've got this energy, but of course, how you utilize it depends on how far matured you are. When you are still young, it operates in its own way. There's no mind that controls it, and you don't have any spiritual alignment connected to it.
There's a name that she didn't mention.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it, but I will say
I would
that
love
name.
to know the name.
Oh, wow.
I would love to know the name. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of Munchies and Thoughts. My name is Patanani. I am your chef. And today, I've got the queens, ladies, princesses. Hello, darlings. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Hello, darlings.
Chef.
How are you?
Fabulous.
Oh, my goodness. Nibahle. Yes, Nibahle, but it's fine. Let's do this thing. You'll start by introducing yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? And what's special about you? This is your moment to shine. If you fail to shine here, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do.
You should have prepared us for this one. Anyway, I am Babalo Fundagamapoza. Well remembered most of the time as a naturalist, but today, as you can see, I have decided to put on some clothes because we are here to indulge you together with the Munchies on different thoughts of what life is about. But today I'm going to be presenting myself as simple, either Auntie or Babalwa. And thank you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, darling, and welcome. Auntie Babalwa, I'm so happy you're here. You know where we started.
Oh, yes.
So, and you see the growth.
Oh, yes.
And you are still part of the family.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
You know, if people look at this kind of growth, I mean, you have grown about 500, 600,000% more from where you started, and clearly it's still growing.
Oh, thank
Big
you
up
so
to you.
much.
Big
Thank
up to
you
you.
so much, darlings. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fabulous.
I am so excited. Let me not take the shine away, please.
I wish I was prepared as well. Well, I don't have a fancy intro, but I'll start by saying Kina Kokomatiadi, but popularly known as Ukhoshihadi.
Yeah.
Zangoma 2K, the wisdom bearer, and the spiritual advocate.
Oh, my darling. You are welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
You are becoming a resident. Are you away?
Yes, and it
Are you
feels
away?
good. It feels
Are you
good.
away?
It feels
Let
good.
me not take a moment away from you, please.
Hello, darlings. So I've been thinking. Yes, thinking. Mina ngumkhulu Phunyuka Bamphethe Nsizwa kaMabuza. I am the soul healer. I've realized over the time that I'm actually the healer of souls. You know, through Ubungoma, I heal souls. I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm ugogo, I'm umkhulu to those who don't have that guidance. So ngime lagini, I'm here, I'm sitting in your homes, you know, wherever you're watching. So I'm always humbled to be part of Munchies as we grow along. Yes, so cheers to another show. And I'm honored to be surrounded by queens at last.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm no longer the rose.
You know what, man? I am honored as well to have you guys here.
Yes.
Before I start, I want to say to you guys, I don't take you for granted. And thank you so much for honoring the invitation. Ukuthi nizoba nami nama Munchies that are watching us. On that note, let's do a cheers. You are far, but we can do this. Mm-hmm. We don't do a cheers and put the glass down. We do a cheers and
Yeah.
darlings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Thina singanabantu phela we're gonna have a bad sex. If ungangibheki emehlweni, if ungayenzi i-chest right, kuzobheda nje.
No. Abu Bedi, there is nothing that is beautiful as being autosexual and autoromantic.
Okay.
Yes, man, there is a life that is hidden there that prevents you from doing things you wouldn't want to do, but that prepares you for when you have a partner.
I'm coming back there.
Yes.
Babukeli bamakhaya nibazuleke basichazile ukuthi bangobani babuyaphi and what's special about them. Yes, I am Chef Pasani Bata. Today sikhuluma our theme energies, spirits and isintu. Yes, I've got questions, topics under that theme. But before we can go deeper, your overview, your understanding, mawuza legama elithi spirit, energies, isintu. Kufikani kuwena? Intombi yakhe uJesu izoqala. If you hear the word spirit, energy, and isintu. Spirit is spirituality, right? Yes. Intombi yakhe uJesu, as I sip my wine.
You know, Patana, these are things that we can never separate from life. We are really, today you've decided, and I don't know why, that you are then going to invite queens in the body because omkhulu nabo bakhona in this table. No gogo, but you just decided to say, let's have a lot of feminine energy and let's have a discussion around this thing. Masikhuluma ngesintu, there's often a lot of understanding that a lot of people do where we separate ourselves from the spirit as abantu. If you look at umuntu and you look at where we come from and who we are today and where we are going, we are the universe itself, because when you look at me, you're looking at a complete universe. So what I want to do when I will talk about spirits is to say, how do we connect the universe to umuntu, which is where the spirit comes in when we connect to these things. One, see, for instance, majority of the people that are here, including the audience, abantu abadala. These are the people that then connects us to this universe that we do and we are centered on for us to be the people that we are. And that's a very big and today, science that is unfolding, we can see the beauty. It's like the universe decided to open up and say, let's connect to them. And we'd like to thank you for being that anchor who does that. But it goes beyond that because we are also as umuntu and isintu connected to all the elements of life. For instance, as we sit here, sithi kunabantu abaphansi. This is the core of Mother Earth. Abantu abaphansi. How do we isintu ourselves towards abantu abaphansi? Sinabantu abaphezulu. Omanyuke labanyuke babheke phezulu, connecting us to the air and to the air that we breathe and anything that is air associated. Sinabantu futhi sibe nogogo also that are associated to umlilo, amanzi and other things. So for me, when you say isintu and spirit, is how does this thing work together for the good, either for those that are called and city or gogo nomkhulu because they sometimes represent abantu ababekhona before, or those that are called to connect those abafihlwa Pathanani, but abantu that have been kept there in their dead space but still alive. Usually this is the word that we use for people that and then there are those that are called directly without a conjoint that connects directly to all these elements. Kunabantu that connect directly to abantu abaphansi without a conjoint, those that connect directly to those abaphezulu or manyuela, to those that connect to the water directly. And for me, that is the dynamism of ubuntu and spirituality. And it's things that we can't separate.
Wow, thank you.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Can I chip in?
Yes. Remember, we are four here.
Okay.
So we are all talking.
I love what Umama said because she said it beautifully. And in my philosophical point of view, I would say, before we go deep into what spirituality is, and let's just break down the definition of spirituality. I mean, spirit. So oftentimes people would mistake the spirit for the soul, and these are things that are different. Now, you have your natural body that encompasses the spirit and let me start with the soul, that encompasses the soul. And your soul is more of a emotional and compassionate part of the natural phenomenon, which is your flesh. And when we look at the spirit is what connects the two and centers it to find what is beyond the physical, to connect the spiritual to the physical. So basically what I'm saying is that's how you distinguish between that of which could manifest into the natural and that of which remained energy. You find spirits that have never manifested into human form, animal form, nature, basically. They remain, such as your ancestral spirits, your water spirits, etc., etc. But then you find us that carry umoya. We cannot call ourselves spirits within the flesh. It has to be defined because there has to be some sort of a pinnacle point that regulates the natural and umoya. That is my opinion on the spirit and spirituality. And when we look at energies, we're looking at what ignites life itself, all aspects of life. You have your spiritual, you have your natural, and. But what brings everything to life? What brought Manchis and thoughts to life? What brought Uhoshihadi to life? What brought Umkulu to life? What formed the life around us? It was all about energy. And I refer back to what Umama Babalwa said about the universe. We can only connect fully to the universe by exerting certain energies and receiving back certain energies, because what you put out is what you get in. And I believe that as an individual, you possess two principles, two types of energies, which is the good and the bad. So if you put out good, you get good. If you put out bad, you get bad. And what else haven't I touched on?
Okay.
I think I've touched on everything.
Hold it there. It's fine. Yes.
You know, I'm amazed by how you have aligned the three beautiful queens with this topic, ye energy, ye mimoya, because as women, feminine women, we are automatically aligned with imizwa, which is energies, which is the spirit. Isintu, you know, we are known to be inzala yabantu as women. So it's so appropriate. And if abadala abombata didn't plan this, hangazine plan it. But having said that, mama, babalo, uyibeke kahle, I can't do better than that. Ngoba isintu does align to spirits. It's just a matter of you, at what point in your life do you realize ukhumane no moya wako and know how to use it. And Gogo Khosehadi has explained it, ukuthi, with everybody there's energy, everybody possesses the good and the bad energies. It's just how you use it at that time. And we all know, ukuthi, with likes of karma, when you put out the bad energy, that's what you're gonna get. If you put out the good, that's what you're gonna get. And you know, with energies is such a beautiful thing that people don't understand. You could walk into this room and already pick up the energy abantu. If uhamba no moya, the spirit, the spiritual side where you in aligned to it, you'll already know what day you kind of gonna have. Mina mangena ngihlangana no Gogo Khosehadi, I was like, oh my Ndlozi. It's going to be a beautiful day because you align no moya, and everybody has umoya, the spirit, akhumana nayo via the universe, social media, whatever platform that you get. And people just need to know, how do you use that spiritual gift that you have? When can you manifest it for the good and the bad? Because the universe is out there for everyone to use. You just need to know how to use it in line with the way wena utalwe ngakhona.
Chef, before you respond on this one, I think I need to come in on the issue of women. I don't think we celebrate women enough when it comes to spirituality. There is only one conduit in the world that has been given the soul right by the source of the universe, or whatever you want to call it, that is able to bring in spirits into this world. And that is a woman. And for me, in my mind, that is a God. We are here purely because we came through the channel called a woman. It means they carried their spirit. And it is the only time when you get to see and find two spirits in one body, through that process of creation of the body, because they create the body and then they put it together. And you can imagine the pain and the anxiety and the violence that happens with two spirits coming into one place, staying there, and one day you are able to take them out. I think we need to salute women. Indeed, njengoba esho umkhulu, to say, you know what, siyababonga bakwambatha and all those people that come with you and utilize you for these programs, that they also bring such deep conversations for us to have with the world, to say, women out there, we know what you are going through, but we know also what you bring in for us. And also for us to celebrate them in saying that you might be sitting in anywhere and being oppressed. Nobody oppresses anything that does not have power. The reason why you are sitting where you are as a woman and feeling disarmed and feeling not being given your place is because you've got power. So it is programs like Munches and Thoughts and what the work that you put through that are saying to women, you are here and we salute you and we submit to you. Thank you.
To all the women out there, we are here, we salute you, and we can see all the work that you are doing. As I proceed, now, let's go to topics. I love everything that you guys, esenishilo la. Yazi nikhulume izinto eziningi, izinto ezinesisindo, izinto ezosiza whoever that is watching Munches and Thoughts. Ngoba iMunches and Thoughts eyabantu.
Oh, yes.
iMunches and Thoughts eyabantu. Akusiye yam, akusiye yenu, akusiyo the team that is working eyabantu. And yazi ukuthi mangithi imbokodo inzala abantu. I love when you said that. Let me tell you now what's coming. Under this, let's talk about sex and spirituality. Sex and spirituality. That's number one. Number two, I want us to talk about the surrogate. Number three, I want us to talk about egg donation. Number four, sperm donors. If you hear this, it's exactly what you already said, but now say I break it down manje. Nikhuluma ukuthi sibele salute abafasi. Inzala abantu. Nikhuluma ukuthi two spirit and body. They are connected. So now, I guess it's in sex and spirituality, and niyazi nonke, niyabona nonke, is-sex, let me not say it. Asikhulumeni ke manje. Yabona manje ke business of the day kuyashuba ke manje.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful topic once again. I mean, if it wasn't for sex, we wouldn't be here. But do we associate with spirituality? I'd like to usually cut the body into 4 parts, which is the physical part, which is what we are looking at. And by the way, did we tell you that you look handsome and you are dressed nicely?
Me?
Because that's what we see. So we
Thank
see
you.
We see the body. But the body comes with a lot of other intricacies inside. And by the way, this is the most beautiful and the most delicate instrument that we've been given by the universe. So within the body, we've got areas, as in our hormones and all these other things that we react to every once in a while. And that forms our emotional being. Physiology, because this is where there will be your hormones. If you're upset, there's certain hormones that will come out and they will do certain things within the body and then you react. And that's the second one. The third one being the mental part that is also linked to all the nerves that you have in the body. And then the fourth one, she did cut it into different aspects to say there's the soul that keeps the body together, there's the spirit that connects to the outer world. We sometimes, for unfortunate reasons, utilize these words interchangeable, but sometimes when you then go into deep understanding with people that know them, then we cut them. But just for the sake of this conversation, we'll call it the spiritual part. So there's 4 parts. So sex is one of the best energies that we have that can keep your body together.
Okay.
This is the best energy. From the day you are born, you are a sexual being until the day you die. So it means you've got this energy. But of course, how you utilize it depends on how far matured you are. When you are still young, it operates in its own way. There's no mind that controls it, and you don't have any spiritual alignment connected to it. So you can have sex and benefit of the 4 levels if you are aware. If you're not aware, you can just do it for the sake and you jump on top of each other and you have an orgasm, and then that's the physical benefit. At some point, you want to connect with the people emotionally. You feel like now you're getting attached to them and whatnot. That's the emotional part of it. Mentally and spiritually being the highest forms of releasing sexual energy, which is why a love that doesn't love with the body and the eyes is a higher love that loves with the heart and the soul, which is why you can have this relationship with somebody halfway down the world, because you are now connected and loving each other in a soulful manner. Now, these organs that we sit with that have got hormonal areas, they in other sciences referred to as chakras. This is where you have your energy that you release here. So if you release your sexual energy on the base chakra, if you know how to utilize it, you can push it to a spiritual level. If you only enjoy the physical, you enjoy the physical. But what we are saying here today, at what level are you playing your sex? Are you utilizing it as a spiritual organ? Can you pray yourself into an orgasm? Can you orgasm yourself into a prayer? A level that is the highest form of living. Where are you utilizing your sexual energy? And by the way, sexual energy, as we say that it can propel yourself into spirituality, is that you can also use it as a creation energy, which is why through sex we are able to make kids. Through sex you can do all these things. So you can also take this energy, bundle it, and use it for other creations, these things that you want to use it for. So this is a vast space. But what we are saying, especially ngoba la kakhulu, Pata, and I need to thank you for this, you have opened a space where you say, let's talk about African spiritualism. Let's engage in these things. And for a lot of people, when we say sex, we always think African people or indigenous people did not have plans on sex. We had huge plans, and we always had kept it as a sacred space. Whilst we know that maybe at a certain age, you will start having a body that feels in a certain way, we still corrected you and propelled you to say, you need to wait where you start seeing sex as a sacred thing. And we use it for spiritual reasons, which is why today, if we say to you, preserve your sexual energy. Don't share it with the next person, because the next person might be vibrating at a different level as you and then destabilizes you, which is why the autosexual or the auto-romance is very important, because you are able to keep your sexual energy for your own growth, and even when you've grown enough, then you can use it for outward growth and also for benefit of other people. Yes.
Sex and spirituality.
Very, very, very juicy topic to talk about.
Let's hear, darling, let's hear.
Because if people understood the significance and the vast title sex holds in the spiritual realm, they will treat it with great care, because sex can do 2 things. It can create, it can destroy. Now, when we look at the chakras and we look at the sacral chakra, we look at how you should be careful not only with the natural fluids, but with the spiritual exchange. Because people are not aware that an orgasm is actually a spiritual phenomenon. It's a feeling you cannot explain naturally, but you can understand within. So the minute you are engaged with another being and you are experiencing the orgasm, you are exchanging energies. You have introduced yourself to a person's spiritual body and their spiritual guides that walk with them, and vice versa. Then I go back to saying that sex can destroy or it can create. Now, in that orgasm, naturally, you can create a child. Spiritually and naturally, you can exchange diseases. That's why when you would go to a seer, a sangoma, a traditional healer, etc., and they tell you uyagula, oftentimes ugula ngokwegazi or ngokomoya, because you have exchanged spiritually what you cannot explain naturally or what you cannot comprehend naturally. A lot of people don't understand that sex can actually turn into generational curses. It can turn into bad omens. It can also connect you to a certain part of the spiritual realm that you cannot control. What do I mean by saying this? You get into sexual act with someone who drinks blood at night. You inherit their demons. You inherit their beliefs. You inherit their sins. Unknowingly, you are suffering from what you would call depression, anxiety, stress. But now spiritually, you have opened a doorway for your child, your great-grandchild, your great-great-grandchild to suffer from the same disease. Then, naturally, that also affects the spiritual. Naturally, you contract a sexual transmitted disease such as HIV. That can actually become umkhokha, although you contracted it naturally, and your child cannot contract it from you spiritually. Just because there is a spiritual omen that is lingering in the background, your child will also find themselves on the route to contracting that, because it is you have so now it is an ongoing line of destroying and destroying and destroying. So in as much as it can create life, it can also destroy life. So I always advocate for people to be careful when they engage with people sexually, because it's not written on a person's face that they'll destroy you or they'll make and create with you. You have, I'm sorry to say the word, but you have witches that understand the psychology of sex.
They are witches.
That understand the science of sex.
Apologetic about that.
That understand the science of sex. Because I can take the wealth from your bloodline through the simple act of sex. I can heal you through sex. I can take from you through sex. Even if I send you to go have sex with someone, I'm sending you for a reason. You are going to come back and I'm going to draw from you any fluid on your body, and I can destroy that person through you. Because you have taken, you have taken from them a piece of them, of which I can have access to their bloodline. So people need to be more careful when they deal with sex, because even if you use protection, it is a spiritual interchange, like I've said. An orgasm is spiritual. It's not natural. The souls have become one in that moment. And you'll see, even in religious settings, cultural settings, any other settings, they will explain that the bodies become one. They join and become one. But what bodies are we talking about? We're not only talking about the natural, we're talking about the spiritual. So, yeah, I'll elaborate further.
Wow. So, Jingas.
Hello, darling.
I've always wanted to say that before the show. My queens have spoken. And as I'm listening, my mind is just buzzing. There's a term, S10, but in this case, it's spiritually transmitted diseases. Abantu don't understand the intensity of ukulala nomuntu. It's not only about, the physical, umzimba, the orgasm. Like the queens have said, it goes way beyond that. Abanye abantu who are spiritually gifted or spiritually inclined, they choose to be single for a reason, and it's got nothing to do with ukuthi they can't hold relationships or whatever. It's because they understand the spiritually transmitted disease. Ngoba if uzothandana nomuntu, you have to be sexual with them, to be intimate with them. But it like Gogo Asho, it goes even, it's not only about, even if it's protected, umjulugo, having that person in your intimate space, that's already it has that sexual connotation into it. So abanye bethu siyakhetha ukuthi ubani umuntu wesilisa oba seduzane kwethu, because that's an intimate space. That's when You can smell my scent. Where masowazi punga lami ngafakanga deodorant. That's already being in my intimate space, and it's easy for you to manipulate that masowazi. And if like witches, they banama code on how to crack into this, and without you actually be doing the act. And it's a bit embarrassing that I'm doing this with my kids here, but anyway.
Anyway.
Pat, before you respond on this, you know what? Most of the time when we talk of sex, we always talk about the bad side, how we need to prevent this. I'd like us to open this for education, especially in this space. People just practice sex for the sake of sex. Can we go to a point where we use this as a tool of our own spiritual enlightenment? Let's get ourselves involved in the level of tantric sex and other forms of sex that are higher forms of sex. There is a lot of codes that are hidden behind sexual energy power. Once you get to that point, you automatically become a magician. This you can achieve even if you're an auto practitioner. Because in the same way, I always say to people, if you want an orgasm, it's an orgasm even if it comes from your finger. It is an orgasm. And so that benefit is there. And when you benefit, to stand benefit on your own, it's easy for you to get to the coding. Sex, which is why it has been demonized, which is why it has been protected, because it encompasses a lot of energy that can take us to a lot of spaces. Can we get into a culture where we move away from physical and just emotional sex and get deeper into it, where we say we want to now be a mental sexual practitioners and spiritual sexual practitioners? There's nothing wrong with you sitting there and thinking yourself into an orgasm and then seeing what energy comes out of it and what it benefits you in.
Babukela bamakhaya, I hope nisajabula ukuba nathi la ngoba namhlanje ngiyafunda. There's nothing wrong using your finger and of course your hand.
Of course.
Of course your hand. Those yeah.
There's a reason why God, and I always thank God, God was very fair to human beings, or the source of the universe. He did not give us hands like penguins. The hands can reach everywhere.
Oh, the hand can reach anywhere, darlings. And I just learned something today when Gogo said sex destroys. It's also creates. Wow.
Yes.
So asiyenike lana ke uyabona ngiyathanda ngoba lezi zinto lezi engizibalile ziyalinka. Uyabona ukuthi uma uzothi isex yakha futhi iyabhidliza. Ake sikhulume nge-surrogate. And then chazile ukuthi abathakathi bangasebenzisa igazi lakho to destroy. So ngifuna ukuza lana ke i-surrogate nesintu ne-spirituality. Your thoughts when you hear that, and it's something new, it's happening now in our country. A lot of people are doing it, and yeah, I guess man, sihlanganisa ne-spirituality. We as you did say good, we are spiritual beings. So I guess kumele lapho nge-surrogate.
Okay, I don't want to look like it's me who's starting all the talk.
No.
Remember, we are having a conversation.
You are more than welcome.
But what I want to say before you open it up, Pata, ngokwesintu ngizoyitsho lento ndithi ambondo. So in Bondo we say things. We are like the Swati people. We just say things. Umntwana kazalwa ngesende.
Okay.
There are people that grew up where I grew up in the Eastern Cape. That's 46 years back. That were born by umamncane, no mamon janjan, no mamon janjan, that they did not even know who's the mother at the end of the day. It's only very late in life. Some of them, they will tell you only when I was in university that I got to realize, my mom was that one. The one that I stayed with, they stayed in the same compound because umamncane bekhona no. And then we go further, where I come from in Eastern Pondoland. Then you'll understand where some of the behaviors come from. Butwe, for instance, at my age, I'm an old woman who's not married. So sometimes I'm known by the litigazi liga patanan. So I'm known that you are my partner. Upinde kuthiwa edigazi lika patanan liphinde lilale nosiyabo. So this is a known thing. So whilst I want us to open this discussion is to say at a spiritual level, whilst all these things could be correct, there are people that grew up, they did not know who their father was exactly because benili tigazi lika patanan nosiyabo. And at the same time, there were children that grew up in certain areas that did not know who exactly was the mother, which is where we come in, where we used to say, umntwana uyathengwa ngegazi. So uyahlatshelwa abese ngenisa ekhaya.
Okay.
Which is why ukuhlatshelwa komntwana, for instance, mina ngazalelwa ekhaya, my mom was married. Ngazalelwa ezandleni zikagogo, ugogo wami is the only one owaziyo ukuthi inyama ingaphuma nayo ikuphi. There was no reason why fanele ngihlatshelwe. Because I'm known, I'm in the right place. Umama wami wangeniswa, wahlatshelwa. So akukho sidingo sokuthi mina ngihlatshelwe. Ngiyaziwa la. But umntwana, which is why mayikhala, kuthiwe umntwana ekhaya kuphathanani. Makhothi phuma nayo uyomthulisa ngaphandle because manje kufanele uyobiza izithakazelo zakubo.
Oh, yeah.
Sibese siyamthenga ngembuzi emhlophe, sesiyambiza ngezithakazelo zala ekhaya.
I mean, asizweni indlovukazi yabona le futhi ingene kahle kunini abaphathi bathi asizweni.
As what ugogo said, it just reminded me of how mandulo bekungakhulunywa openly ukuthi ubani akakwazi ukuzala ngoba bekwaziwa ukuthi siyasizana, esingaba siyinzala abantu. You'd hear of cases where mina ngishadile nophathanani kodwa mina angizali kodwa wena awunanzalo njengomuntu wesilisa. Bazothatha umalume phakathi ukuthi nje angizalise bese into ezokhishwa ezothuliswa lapha nendawo as long as ngizalile ngipregnant because into isibusiso yingane. But kuba isifihlo sala ekhaya and there's nothing wrong with it. Kwenziwa amasiko whatever kodwa kuyaziwa ukuthi ubaba wengane akuyena uphathanani kodwa omunye kodwa angeke ikhulunywe leyo. Mina inzala abantu, I'm here to bring isibusiso ngoba like ugoga shilo ubaba lo ukuthi ugcina ungazazi ukuthi ubani umama wakho ubani like and because that doesn't matter. Siyinzala abantu, we are there ukukhulisa zonke ingane ezilaleni emakhaya kwifamily wonke umuntu umama. So it becomes that. And that's why the surrogacy thing is a brand new concept with isintu. Kodwa I don't think it would be difficult. I'm sure besiyenza, it's just that besingayibhizi ngesurrogacy. Ngoba usiza omunye umama ukuthi abe nethuba lokuthi abe umama because that's what at the end of the day ibalekile ukuthi unengane.
Before you go, I've got so many questions. And I'm burning, but it's okay. Doc, assist.
I'm going to spiral out of my words because I want people to understand this particular point to the T. The problem is not the transport.
Okay.
It's the destination.
Okay.
Now, the cycle of life is always to bring, to take away, and to bring again, right? So this takes me to the point of reincarnation or the bringing in of new energy. Now, the woman's body is meant to be a precious cargo or precious ship or precious plane from the spiritual realm to the natural realm. So, in my opinion, or my POV, it doesn't matter who carries you, whether it's a surrogate, whether it's auntie, umam kulu, bani, as long as you have arrived, because you have a particular purpose to fulfill. You have a particular assignment to carry out at a particular life point. And once you get to carry that out, achieve what you achieve, you're signing back out. You might return again to perform another task. So in my opinion, I think surrogacy is a beautiful thing. Our ancestors can keep up with the times. I mean, I'm telling you, our ancestors keep up with the time.
But oh, sorry. Please continue.
I'm sorry. I mean, if you have ancestors dating back to 1 million years ago, would they still expect you to live like a 1 million-year-old human being? No. They have to adjust in as much as we learn from them, they also learn from us. In as much as they guide us, we also guide them. Because there's no way I'm going to be walking around naked in the street in the streets of South Africa, 2024, crime a ring. Who's going to take advantage of that? You understand? So they move with the times as long as it is not harmful towards the purpose they gave you. So in saying that, I feel they are aware of the phenomenon that another woman can come to the rescue of your lineage and your bloodline not being stopped or lost by just carrying what needs to come to creation.
Pat.
Yes, my darling.
Ngicela ukulwa nogogo yazi.
This is your ground. Do your thing, honey.
Ngicela ukulwa nogogo. I'm a naturalist.
Okay.
At some point in my life, I want to walk into this room and you guys are wearing and I'm not wearing it. We need to coexist.
Okay.
In a world that we live in, which is why we have these conversations of spirituality, to say we need to allow ourselves to be ourselves in the midst of our people. Whilst if there is sickness, how do we utilize even what we see, which is a sea of spiritual outburst, to balance the ills of the society so that we go back to who we are? You know the freedom that you have, all the information I could have given you if I was naked. So these clothes I have. But I just want to ride on what she's saying.
Yeah.
The spirit has got so much freedom and beauty outside the body is limiting. So when we put in further limitations, we make it very difficult. It is the choice of the child that says, I want to go to that family. It is not what we get to think, that this is my child as if you are the one who brought them here. The spirit chooses you. So when that spirit chooses to say, I'm going to go to that family that is surrogate aligned, it's because it chooses to. It's the choice of the spirit. We are limited by the body and some of the things that we are facing. But Pata, are there any spiritual things that families that are thinking of surrogacy need to think of? Of course.
Yes, thank you.
Of course, these are some of the things that we now start thinking about. So when you're choosing your surrogate, or when you choose somebody that's going to give you a sperm, or somebody that is going to give you an egg, you need to be able to be aligned to them. You see, I'm a spiritual being through and through. I'm a seeker. I have no relationship between me and God. I go directly there. I don't want anything. I don't even want my mom. I tell my mom when she comes, I say, Mama, it's okay, I love you. You had your part. Take me through, just carry me, but I want to do this thing on my own. So should I want to have a surrogacy? Because these things, they go hand in glove. You want this surrogate mother somehow to be in connection to this child because she becomes an additional mom. That person, yes, there are choices where people say, I don't want to choose. But if you look at the history, halfway down the line, the kids start saying, but I want to find out where exactly I come from. So it needs to be aligned. You don't want mina, let's say, for instance, my sister, for instance, is a Sangoma also. But manje, the mother who carried the child is something that believes a totally different life. What are you going to do with this child in the future should they want connection? So there's a lot of other thinking that you need to put through whenever you are going to have starting these things. Because should a time for reconnection occur, you need to be able to connect. And during the pregnancy with the surrogacy, you need to develop some form of a relationship. You might want to come to me and want to pray in my tummy because I'm a surrogate in the name of something that has never assisted me with anything. I'm going to be upset.
Yes.
Don't do it to me.
Yes.
You might have a surrogate who's going to say, asifuni impepho. Thina ngesintu, part of pregnancy is part of life and a very big part of life. You want to go to that child, umshisele impepho mangabe uyisangoma, umenzele zonke lezi zinto. If you are me or Antu, you want to do your Antu thing to this child before afike. Awufuna ukuthatha umntwana okhulile. That's a very big part of life, that creation process. Sometimes you get the incorrect spirit coming because they want to have an experience. You want to reassure my kids, this is what we want to align to. So you need to choose the people that then are spiritually aligned that are going to be carrying the child for you.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was...
Isn't it focus? Anything?
I think I'll say one thing.
More than welcome.
I wish the higher source had given us an X-ray to actually suss out who is not and who is carrying, like Umkhulu said, your spiritual transmitted diseases. I have my egg growing inside of you. Your blood flows to my baby. So whatever your blood comes with, I have to expect at delivery and equip myself to deal with those issues. Because in as much as that particular human being has their assigned task, they shouldn't come with the burdens of 20 other bloodlines who could not resolve when they were still in natural phenomenon. So I think that's where Isintu comes in. That's where your cleansers come in. Biga womntwana comes in, and ceremonies and rituals, because and I think it's a very beautiful thing and a convenient thing, because you do not know what beauty and what misfortunes a person's blood carries. You have men that have gone around, and I'll just refer to it as a seed for argument's sake, that have planted their seeds all around. They have given a piece of themselves to thousands of women. You come from the same vessel that these seeds come from. You're intertwined with 3,000 other people. So that is also a conversation that needs to happen to say, how many of us are connected?
But ngicela ungaphenduli. Ngicela ukulwa nogogo. Ngicela ukulwa nogogo.
Okay, before we no Coco,
Please.
it's fine.
Can I just add one thing? Angili,
Okay, you're adding one thing and then Ulano Coco,
Yeah, kakhulu.
and then I'm closing the show.
we are promoting Olympia.
No, it's a beautiful fight.
You know,
Hey.
bengimamele ugogo baba lwakhuluma. You know lento ayishoyo ngokuthi mazoba surrogacy mele ba align with, because mina ngizofuna ukushisa impepho ngenze this and that. This is why isintu savumela lo siko lokungenwa. Because it maintains that angeke kuqhamuke ulindiwe ophuma kwambatha osozo yenza usiko lakhe. So if kungenwa either umuntu wesilisa or wesifazane umaintaina izinto ezenziwa ku bloodline. That's what ugogo was talking about.
Mangilwa nogogo kahle. I realized clearly I love her energy. The reason why we are promoting African spiritualism and individualism of Antuism within the spirit is because we are saying, we know we've got the code of breaking the spiritual X-ray.
Okay.
Angeke gogo. Wena, you must not make the same mistakes that I'm going to have. Because mangabe uvulelwe ukuthi ukhona ukungena emoyeni in whatever way, whether uyisangoma, whether uyithwasa, whether you should be able to see what is happening within a person, especially at a spiritual level.
Okay.
Whilst you might not have the how, because women and God were very clear on what must happen. They said, umphefumulo wakho ngiwunikeza wena, and only me and you can touch it as the universe. So that abanye abantu bengazufika basithinte bamoshe. You can imagine how many people khona abanye angifuna ukubiza izinto ngizosifaka enkingeni that would have yanked out our spirits. Bazithathe bazenze zabo, because we are the only ones that understand spiritualism to the level that we do. They try to promote some certain form of medicine to try and understand this, but it only comes with a strong melanin.
Amen. Amen.
So, those things, they give us the right to be able to see these things. Yes. A normal person who is not spiritual, who is put in a certain thing that say, we will take your spiritual journey, or whatever you want to call it. But tina siya direct, tina esiya nabantu abadala who have walked this journey, who can see we should have that spiritual X-ray.
Gok, do you want to say anything after the fight? That was a beautiful fight. A crystal fight.
Very beautiful fight. I don't even see it as a fight. You know, we learn from each other every day. And I would like to, there's a name that she didn't mention.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say it, but I will say
I would
that
love
name.
to know the name.
Oh, wow.
I would love to know the name.
You see,
Okay.
the other side of creation has decided to manipulate African spirituality and African metaphysics. They've tried, they failed. Now, how does modern day society restrict us from reaching our full potential? Is the argument I put forth. There are things that we do as Africans that we have inherited from other nations and other cultures and practices that we do not see or subconsciously comprehend that they are counteracting our beliefs. They're counteracting what the route we should be on.
Let's just, Pandatanani, get to a point where as spiritual beings get to know why we were given more melanin than other people.
Yes.
What is this melanin? Let's go to that. And if anybody, because people will just say you are black because you are melanin. The day I understood the power of my black melanin, I was happy to be a black person. I used to think I'm not black, I'm more brown or close to pinkish. I'm happy to be black. Because I know what melanin does.
On that note, Babugaba Makaya, I hope you are enjoying the episode. I love them. Do you want them back? Should I bring them back? Because but before I can give you guys a last chance to say whatever to them, let me tell them about my book. This is my book. I am an author before Munches and Thoughts. I am Munches and Thoughts before an author. Babulamba Makaya, this book is called On My Own. It's only 300 rand. It can change your life. It can heal you if you are ready to face whatever trauma you went through. This is the book to have. You can email me, DM me, WhatsApp me. We deliver across South Africa. Just when Anyway, guys, as you all know, last I said the Munches, they can send whatever that they are doing. I won't mind to promote it on the show. I've got a young gentleman from Cape Town. His name is Avuyile Hono. I hope I'm pronouncing your surname well. Avuyile wenza ama perfume, guys. Like, we are wenza yena, guys. You know, I want to, like, happy birthday to you, Sonjikas. So I want you guys to smell it. And then this is his products. Uyenza nama lokuzana nama lotion, hand lotion. You can taste this. And then, yeah, it's wood.
I needed one before the show. I was complaining about my hands.
I love wood, so I asked him if he can. Yeah, he wenza yena ngezandla zakhe lo mfana lo mncane. He's based in Cape Town. His name is Avuyile, guys. He's only 24 years old.
Like excellence.
So, guys, if you can, please do follow him on social media. I think on Instagram, Avuyile Hono, but yeah. Please, guys, do that and let's celebrate each other. Let's support each other as I say thank you. But before, any word of wisdom you want to give it to the Munches that are watching?
Oh, yes. Just one last one.
Yes.
Pata, I would like to see this book everywhere in the world, especially in Africa. This is one of the most beautiful reads that I've had on my own. It's you would even understand Chef Pata more. It's very important. I advocate that everybody who is walking a journey in life, please get that copy. Your life will not be the same again. In closing, I would like to say where self-knowledge, self-love, and self-respect converges, wisdom prevails. You need to know yourself first. Love what you know. The minute you love it, you'll easily respect it. And that's where wisdom is sitting for you. And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity. And for the people that are watching at home, you better do the right thing. Please vote us that we come back. Please. We don't want problems.
Yes, my darling.
Ooh, I want this panel again, the same one. Thank you, Chef. Thank you to the whole Munchies and Thoughts team. I'm humbled by the experience because having a conversation at this level with my own peers and my millennials, my Gen Zs, it's quite a difficult point to put across that spirituality should be taken the most serious. My father always tells me and always reminds me that if you don't have it together spiritually, other aspects in your life will not come together. So my words to everyone is that The information is there. You need to listen. And in listening, reach deep within yourself, within your soul and your spirit, and see what will feed you to grow and what will not feed you to grow. Take from what you can grow from and teach the next person. We all need the information. We're all learning. We're all growing. So please, please take your spirituality seriously.
Amen. Punyuka bemphethe.
This moment I have dreamt about because I always wondered why ngihleli nginamakhehla. But then I remembered ukuthi umkhulu Phunyuka lives in pinches around, you know. So this is a great honor for me to be surrounded by queens and queens that understand ukuba inzala abantu. You know, the conversation we had today, it's desperately needed. Ngoba we have viewers out there, ingane ingane. And maybe it's a good thing that my daughters are here because they get to hear it, you know. Ngoba I feel the new generation, they don't understand how lucky and fortunate they are to have the social media they have. Ngoba manje, they're getting information from various sources. Ngoba sonke siza with different information on, we spoke about STD, sexually transmitted diseases. We spoke about isintu, and I can't even repeat what Ugogo said because it's so deep, but it like touched me, like, you know, they have to look at all those things, learn from it. Bangabi bonchi basake everything. They need to choose what information they're taking, complete. Remember, wonke umuntu has their own identity. You build your own brand. So from what we've all said and what's being said out of social media, pick what works for you, what aligns to you. Ukhuleke for that, uphahle for that, and ask abadala ohamba nabo ukuthi, is this what is supposed to complete my character? So I don't think they understand intsha, how fortunate they are. If Abo Mama Betu had half of this information, access to this, they would have been better parents to us. Kodwa now we're here, we're using it to our best capabilities, and we're hoping with the generation esibukela abo 2K, mina ngumama wabo 2K. And I hope ukuthi baya appreciate, and spirituality in our days beyifihlwa bekuba yinto yabazali kuphela who talk to izangoma and understand these things zokulapha and all these things. Tina, we're not privy to the information. So manje, being a parent or isangoma to girl children and get to opportunities like this, I'm in awe.
Okay. On that note, let's do a cheers.
Nice.
Of course. But you know, I've learned something today from Ubabalwa ne ukuthi I would think with partner exactly. You can help yourself, even though. But anyway.
Until further notice.
I hope ni jabulile ukuhlala nathi namhlanje nezindlovukazi bengihlezi nazo. And before ngizothi goodbye, I want to say thank you so much. We are on 20,000 subscribers.
Wow. Yay.
And to Avuyile, thank you so much for this beautiful, do we call this cologne perfume? I don't know, whatever you call it. But yes, but thank you so much. Yeah, we are saying Santa Zaki Lomfana. And on that note, it's a wrap and goodbye, darlings.